let's go into our last thing here.
Okay.
Mindset, motivation, leveraging the job you hate into the life you've always wanted. Now, okay, so we can kind of let's take it from the aspect of the Amazon worker, since we kind of talked about that a little bit earlier today. Maybe their passion project was being the guy that put your Amazon Prime package together, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I would say for most, it probably wasn't their ideal dream job, right? So you can either think of it as like a blessing, or you can go into the victim mindset of woe is me, right? And you can either pull yourself by the bootstraps, or you can wallow and just, get a check, right? But here comes the, I guess the mental part of it. How does somebody access the part of their brain that's really uncomfortable? The part of the brain where they go, I'm not happy about this. I don't like this. Woe is me. How do they now activate the other side where they go, no, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to change. I'm going to go after something, my dream. I don't know if it's going to work, but I thought this was going to work and it didn't. Right? How do they go into this?
Yeah. So one, most people are not in their dream job, right? Most of us have jobs to pay bills. Yeah. And, so the fact that, that we're searching for the dream job, that we wake up every day and we feel like, hell, man, I can't, I'm so fulfilled. Yeah. Those are rare. And, there are people that have that, but that's a rare case. And so it's saying, hey, listen, when something happens, got to look at it and say, listen, am I going to look at it from the lens of what opportunities lie here, right? Because there's always an opportunity, right? Mm-hmm. If it was a job you didn't like, well, it's an opportunity to go find a job you might like a little bit better. Maybe you don't love it, but you like it better than the one you had. Maybe you go make more money. Maybe you learn something new, and you walk into a different industry that you didn't know about. So but let's say you're in a job that you maybe don't love, and you're saying, hey, listen, I'm trying. The job is a tool to be able to earn some money, right? Active income. Right. And like we always say, wealth building has to do with a number of different things. And first is earning money. Right. Next is saving money. The third is investing money. And so we're saying, hey, listen, how can I leverage this money I'm making, the time I'm spending, working so hard to make this money, live below my means, start saving some, and then start to invest some. And so when you have a goal at the end of the day of where you're going to put that money, ultimately, you're going to say, hey, listen, I'm going to be a little bit more disciplined. I'm going to, maybe I'm going to, instead of going and buying that, whatever the impulse buy is of the day, and you want to go spend some money on. And when you have a goal and you have an end goal, a lot of times you will not make that decision. You'll say, hey, listen, now I'm working toward the investment house, or I'm working towards something. And if you don't have that goal, a lot of times it's really easy to just say, oh yeah, no worries, I got this money, I'll just go blow it. I'm gonna make more tomorrow. And that happens. This is where, oops, geez, I'm going to tip our whiskey table over. This is where I feel really nervous for the younger generation that is starting to have that mindset of, I'm never going to be able to buy a house. Because guess what? That's a big goal and a big purchase for a lot of people. And you're working hard, you're making some money. Well, if you buy into the fact that you're never going to be able to buy a house, you're just going to rent forever. Well, then now you step down and say, oh, now I don't need to save for that. Now I'll just go spend my money on a new car, or I'm going to go spend my money on something else. So it becomes the next thing. And many times that next thing is not a great investment for you, right? And so it's a mindset of saying, I'm going to use this job and this money, this active income that I'm making, to start to build the life that I say I want, right? And it takes discipline, and it takes some hard days, and it takes being able to say no to a lot of things over the years. But when you have the end goal in mind, it's easier to say no to, because you have something you're working toward, right? And so that's where I always say, at least be working on building that life you don't want to take a vacation from. Right. It's what, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you're going to get fired from Amazon today and then think, okay, well now, because I got fired, the opportunity is I go find my dream job and I'm going to just wake up tomorrow and everything's going to be perfect. Right. No, that's not going to be the case, most likely.
Well, plus now there's 14,000 other people trying to do the same thing as you, buddy. So it's going to be kind of tough.
I have properties that pay my bills. Right. I love doing what we do at Vodyssey. Like I don't have to come to work every day, but I do. I choose to. So I'm one of the few that has actually something that I actually do love doing every single day. I enjoy waking up. I don't ever regret coming into work. Do we have hard days? Yeah. I'm not saying that every day is super easy. We have plenty of days where we're like, oh man, this is a grind, right? And we're working through all kinds of crap. It's a business. And so I'm not saying that. I'm saying we built something that I get to make the choice of what we're doing.
Right.
That didn't happen overnight. That was 25 years of building, right? For me. And it was a lot of ups and downs, and it was a lot of time, but there was always something that we wanted to build toward. And so it makes those hard days easier to put in and easier to dedicate yourself, and easier to say no to things throughout the years, because we have an end goal, right? And so I think that's what it comes down to.
Okay, you've hit on some good points here. My first thought process is people need to have some kind of target, some kind of goal, right?
Yeah, I think so.
This whole idea is like, leveraging the job you hate into the life you've always wanted. Well, what's the life you've always wanted? Right. What's the goal you want to go towards? And then the second part, 25. You've been building this for 25 years. For so many people that I don't have that kind of time. That takes too long. They want to skip steps. They want to get it to the fastest, and that's. That's gonna be a tough ride, right? That's gonna be tough. Now, do you try and teach someone, no, sit in time, believe that it could take 25 years or even longer? Do you tell people like understand that, or do you tell them no, try and accelerate that time, try and do it in 10, and you may do it in 13, but at least you went for 10? Or do you think? I guess my question is, should you try and tell people that it's going to be okay, that it's going to take a lot of time? Or should you try and tell them to get to it as fast as humanly possible?
Both. You tell them both.
Okay.
You have to be prepared for both, right?
Okay.
We're saying, hey, listen, this is a big goal. Like have big goals, right? Have 3, 5, 10-year goals that you're working toward. But they can't be so far out. You're going to step up your goals, right? There's things that I did, big goals that I had when I started Vodyssey are now looking back, it's like, holy man, I can't believe I was playing that small, right? It's like you will look back and think, holy crap, I can't believe how far we've come. And it's not where we started with the goals. We're always having goals that we're shooting for,
right? But
then you're going to catch them, and then you got to re-up. You got to keep like saying, hey, listen, I got to stay motivated, but it always takes time. I'm always like, man, I can't believe how many people we talk to that are like, I just don't have time to do that. And you're like,
yeah, I hear that so often. I hear that a lot.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Time's going by regardless.
Yeah, right? Sun's going to come up.
Yeah,
it's going to come up either way.
It doesn't. You're going to look back 5 years from now, and you're going to look and say, I'm really glad I said I didn't have time to work towards something. Or you're going to look back and say, man, I'm glad I rolled up my sleeves and did something. And so one way or the other, you're looking back 5 years from now, and your 5 years from now, life is going to be dictated on the choices you're making today. And so now, does it need to take my path took 25 years. Can you accelerate that? And should you try to accelerate that? Hell yes.
Okay.
Try to find somebody that's doing what you're doing and learn from them.
Yeah.
Get mentors. Try to find somebody that can help you accelerate that path forward. Okay. But don't be such a prima donna that you're like, I just don't have the time, that person that wants the view but doesn't want to climb, right?
Right.
And so it's like, hey, listen, if you don't have time, I get it.
I feel like this is going to be a mixture of multiple things here, but why wouldn't somebody do that? Is it fear? Is it the shame or this? They're scared of being humiliated, that they don't reach those goals. They don't have enough confidence in themselves. Are they compliant? They just go, I get paid just enough.
Right. I think it's a combination of all of them, depending on the person. It could be a little of both, or a little of all of it. It could be one specific thing. I think that for the majority of the people who listen to our podcast, the majority of the people that we listen to, or that listen to us and we talk to, they're just really comfortable, right? They make pretty good money. They've got pretty good jobs.
Yeah.
They've been pretty successful, and they get to the point where they're like, their back's not against the wall. There's nothing that's really pushing them to say, I need to do something different. I will tell you that, this last year was kind of a whirlwind year for me, and a lot of major things going on in my life. I got slapped with an IRS audit that we were super nervous about. And then my mom was battling her final chapter of cancer. And having made the decisions that we made previously allowed me to focus on things that were most important then, right? I was in a position to where I could take a lot of time off with my mom. I could be at the hospital every single day she was there. We would go on trips throughout the summer and we would spend a lot of time together. Those things that my brother and sister, frankly, weren't able to do as much of because they had to go to work. They had to punch a clock. And if they didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And it made it hard to not, for us, we had stuff in the works. And I'll, as grateful as I am for those things, and a lot of times we build it for the good times, seeing it and having all that stuff built for the bad times.
Right.
When you're saying, hey, listen, I've got, we had months left when it reared its ugly head back again, cancer did. And we were like, hey, listen, this is the end. And we gotta make the best of what we have. And we had a couple months where we were able to spend a lot of time together, and we were able to, good days, bad days, everything in between. And I didn't have to worry about all that other stuff. And so I think that our clients, when they get comfortable, they think they have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
And for me, this year was one of those reminders that you don't have as much time as you think. You really don't. And so, you really just have to look in the mirror and say, what's a priority? What's important? And usually what we say we want, it's not easy to get. And it's going to take time. It's going to take effort. Can you accelerate it? Yes, usually, depending on what path it is. Somebody else has run down it before you. So hopefully they can take that baton and say, don't make the same mistakes I made, but you still have to run down the road.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, I heard this chick was talking. I forgot who it was. Some chick. She said you pray for the bus, but then you run as fast as you can to catch it.
Yeah,
right? You're gonna pray, but So how often should these people reassess their goals? Right? Is this kind of more? Maybe it's different for everybody, but say you're getting comfortable, right? The people that are listening, you get comfortable. Should you be reassessing your goals every year, 6 months?
Yeah, I mean, it's natural to do it annually, right? Everybody kind of reassesses. We're coming up on the end of the year, the first of the year. I feel like you should always be doing it. Like, I'm not a huge, like you'll hear me talk about, I don't like New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff that everybody does, because I think it's just I think that it's a habit that you should always be in, of saying, what's the next chapter? What am I working toward right now?
Right.
And that's a constant conversation you're having with yourself on a regular basis. I find that when I get the most uneasy and the when I'm not always as I feel as sharp, it's when I start to sit on my hands and not doing a lot, right? I always feel better when I'm moving towards something bigger and I'm working hard on something and that momentum is there. And even if it's not working out, you always feel the most energized when you feel like you're moving to that next step. When you're just kind of in just status quo mode. Yeah. Like everything's status quo. I feel like I feel the most, down, and I don't really get depressed. So I don't want to use the word depressed, because some people do get depressed. But like, just not full potential. Yeah. You're just kind of going with emotions. Yeah. You don't feel great. Your mood's not always great. You feel tired, and I never feel tired when I'm running full speed and I feel like burning the candle at every end and just focused on something. I feel the most energized during those times. And I think it's always reassessing and saying, hey, and that's how I judge. That's kind of my litmus test is, I'm kind of feeling a little bit status quo right now. I need to push myself. I need to go do something new and really maybe something a little bit bigger, work on something. And, some of our people that are listening might be in that situation. They're getting comfortable sitting on the sidelines. And in my opinion, that's a really dangerous place to be.
Okay, now the last point here, staying humble while you hit these goals. What's the line between you got furloughed, you got fired, you're finally going, you know what, I'm going to leverage this job, and you're working, and then later you go do your thing when you're setting these goals, and wow, 6 months in you hit one of your goals. Do you keep the head held high, right? And you go, oh, I'm going to do it, or do you kind of bury the head a little bit and just keep chugging along? How does somebody stay focused? But do you give yourself a little bit of time to brag?
Yeah, you got to celebrate.
You got to celebrate a win, right?
You got to give yourself a pat on the back.
I think that's a huge thing. The reason I ask is I feel like people all the time are saying you don't get to celebrate. You just keep chugging along. You just keep going.
Absolutely. Be proud of yourself. Like look back and say, man, I can't believe I did that. Look where I started from. And it's okay to give yourself a pat on the back. It's okay to celebrate and rejoice in some of the because you see people win championships and they're holding the trophy and they're crying and they're so happy. It's not, most of them, like, though, you look at them and they're like so emotional because they know what it took to get there. Right. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to pause for a minute and say, man, look what I just did. Right. Yeah. And then you get back to work and you say, hey, listen, that's, great. Now I set that bar, let's go set another one. And, but absolutely, you should be grateful, thankful, celebrate all the challenges that you probably overcame to reach that goal, and then go do it again, do something else.
Is there like a certain quote or anything you really like that you kind of puts a fire back in you? Is there anything that kind of, I mean, I love Julius Caesar. I came, I saw, I conquered. I love this. I love that idea that you just you see it and you go, oh, I'm going to be the best. I'm going to win. And then you're going to go and you do it. So I kind of, every time I hear that, I kind of get fired up. Is there anything that
I like the Bible verse to who much is given, much is expected. Yeah. And so I always try to remind myself of that as well. Like, hey man, you're given a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of things that have been placed in front of us, every one of us. And, and that means that there's a lot of expectations. And so don't waste it. Don't sit on it. Yeah. Don't, I love to remind myself of that, and then look at some people that are way less fortunate than me and have way more challenges that just go absolutely crush every single day. And they're and you're like, man, look what they're doing. Look at, like, I have nothing to complain about. And so, I always try to remind myself of those things, and that a lot of times inspires me to go, okay, let's go do something big. Let's go try something else.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is going to be my last point. Okay. This is going to be my last one. I promise. There's kind of this new, I think I at least have perceived it this way. Maybe you disagree, but I've perceived it this way, that there's this new feeling of, the most successful people, they don't rely on snippets of motivation. Like, someone's going to be listening to this right now and they're going to go, man, I need to reassess my goals. And I felt like, at least for me, it's perceived that the most successful people don't need somebody else to light that fire underneath them. Do you kind of agree with that, or do you go, no, everybody at some point maybe it will hit this low and everybody kind of needs to, hit the guy, needs somebody to push them a little bit forward? Is it bad of you if you need a little bit of inspiration every once in a while?
No, I don't think it's bad of you, but I think you have to realize that motivation fades, inspiration fades, right? It's here today, gone tomorrow, and it's usually not even lasting a day most of the time. And so you have to, you can't rely on that to continue to push you forward long term, right? And so is it wrong? No, I love motivational quotes. I love seeing some of those, like when you're asking about quotes and different things and reminders. They're fun, right? But also I do think the most successful people are a very disciplined group, right? They're able to do the things that need to get done even when they don't want to, right? It's not I always, and forgive me for not trying to pick on anybody or make fun of anybody for not doing it my way. It always drives me crazy when I see people showing what time they wake up and showing themselves in the gym and showing them doing all this stuff. I mean, I just think it's, I don't know, maybe that does motivate somebody. Maybe it's inspirational for somebody to see that. I just feel like, just go do it. And I feel like the most successful people, they just do. They have the discipline to wake up and they do their thing. They don't need to put it on social every single day. You don't see any of that stuff from me. And it's because of my feeling toward successful people that I look up to. The last thing they would do is show their morning routine. And they have one, and they have very disciplined ones. And likewise, I do too. Right. I have a very specific routine every single day. But you don't see me showing what time I'm waking up, and it's early. And it's you don't see me filming myself in the gym. And it's early every day, and it's every day. And you don't see me in the office like making phone calls and doing the things that we're doing all day every day. I just feel like that motivation and inspiration does fade, and it's fleeting. And I think the most successful people have the discipline to be able to do it even when they don't want to do it. And I think that it's there's a lot of confidence that comes when you make a commitment with yourself. Let's say you're not that person. Let's say you're not the person that is really disciplined and has that routine, and you're going to go do that, and you want to, and you get motivated, and you're like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
What I would do during that motivation time and your inspiration time is write down some things you're going to do, and then keep those commitments to yourself. Right. Not to anybody else. To keep them to yourself. And when you start to keep commitments that you make to yourself, it feels really good, and it feels really empowering, and you feel really strong. And because you know that there are times that you're waking up in the morning and you're going to go to work out, and the last thing you want to do is work out. And then you go do it, and then after you're done, you have this level of confidence, and that you're like, man, I just did that. I just kept that commitment to myself. And then you go conquer the day, and then the day's better. And then you stack good days on each other, right? And you stack, and those things start to turn into like major accomplishments and things that you're doing, and ultimately become habits. And I think that successful people do a really good job of that.
Man, I'm getting fired up. I hope the listeners are too, man. We're done. We got to call it. I've surpassed with the questions on the time limit. So sorry, guys, but
all right.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry.
We went down like the whole personal development side. Man, of life, I feel like I'm not really a high performance personal development coach by any stretch. So all of you listening, I apologize in advance if that was not qualified advice. But the short-term rental stuff was qualified. I will stand by all of that as our expertise and the things that we actually do know one thing or two about.